and Astralis has our two central bans. No surprises for the initial knockout, as Thatcher will be the first to go of our four to be eliminated, and Astralis don't seem to have too much delay on their choice. They're going to knock out Hibana, which has been the go-to hard breach operator, just more for convenience than anything, because you can choose the different pellet sizes, so they will remove that convenience from the table.
Yeah, terribly inconvenient when it comes to trying to play defense on a map like this. Almost unpreventable in a certain sense. So now down to the last defensive ban after Mira will be removed, and it's going to be Valkyrie. This one is to be expected. This is TSM's most banned defensive operator for Villa, and it's, again, to be expected because it is Villa. Valkyrie is fantastic on this map, and that's exactly why we won't see her here today.
So no huge surprises in the ban department. Let's go ahead and head into the server itself and see if we'll get anything a little bit crazier there. It's going to be a trophy and statuary hold initially for TSM as they'll get the defensive start here. Operator lineup is going to look a little interesting. Nothing too crazy coming out, though. Mainly just Merc going for the Legion choice, and we'll see Geo switch at the last second over to a K to doubly reinforce that triple wall.
So I don't know if you have any big questions or some big statements that you want to make about TSM from what we've seen previously, but for me, today we have got to see something out of Bolo and Merc. Up against Astralis, these two have got to play well together, and we need to see them take it to Astralis in the frag department. As much as I love seeing Geo go off, I don't want to see it in the same light that we have in recent history.
So it's time to see now if TSM changing up the map and changing up Astralis' own map choice that they'll play into is potentially going to change things for themselves. We had seen the theme park play over the last few games. It hasn't really been working out too well for them, but maybe Villa will fare a bit better, because even looking at the individual side of things, there's quite a few players on this TSM side that I have personally seen in the past seem very comfortable on this map, and feel like they have a little bit more greater freedom to play around with it, Geo being the most notable one, but unfortunately we're not going to see that too much due to his role here. Always a chance he can come out in the clutch, though, if the need arises.
Absolutely the case, my friend, and you can say that about a lot of TSM's maps, but Villa definitely one of their best when it comes to their overall stat points on it. Have a 54% win rate on their offensive side and a little over 60% on their defensive side, so positive either way you slice it, and that's what you want to see. As for TSM, in the current moment, they're waiting on the arrival of Astralis, so begin their clear from the south side, looking to study as well as the lower set and the likes of Piano for shuttle. Well, they're likely just going to try and grab some angles here, but it's going to be an extended hold for TSM with Merc currently inside of Gun Vault. He'll have that vault reinforced for the single panel for 90, which Iconic will currently be locked into. Force with the initial frag with the Twitch onto Chala. He'll take down the Frost as Merc will pick up another, or at least inside of the round. Potentially his second for TSM, but Astralis instead will fire back, and it looks like the trade system is working out beautifully.
It's all Astralis right now, as they're going to be able to shut down this opening attempt from TSM to get aggressive. TSM still having achieved position downstairs in Piano too. This could be a bit of a double-edged sword position for him. Obviously, he could stab the Astralis push in the back and pick up some massive impact, or this could happen, where he'll be left a bit awkwardly alone here. Yeah, he gets that throwaway kill versus Shuttle, but in the grand scheme of things, it means virtually nothing here. Forrest will be able to get the plant down with no more interruptions, and achieved doesn't even have a clean path to get himself upstairs. He's going to try to go for the pre-throw or nitro and just hope that someone was going to be waiting for him in the connector. Good intuition. Bad follow-through, unfortunately, as no one from Astralis is there. They have right into that in advance, and they're playing this about as far back as possible to waste as much of Achieve's time in the clutch. Already down to under 30 seconds, meaning he's got about 15 left to get on the counter defuse before the timer will play against his favor. And yeah, pretty much the expected result there as he finally swings just a bit too far into Astralis territory, and they chop his head immediately off.
Iconic pretty happy about that round, and you have to be as well. You can see the energy coming from the Astralis camp, and I mean, that's what you want for your team. You want that excitement to be there. It's always something that can help you, especially in those crunch moments where it seems like things could go either way. Astralis able to claim round one simply off of the buddy system, John. They did a better job of trading out than TSM did. They did a great job of taking map control away from them as well, enforcing their hand to try and deal with that study side attack, which actually ended up not being the main way that they were going to go. Immediately shifting things over to Master, taking control via that space instead, and getting the plant down successfully. It was really, really well done.
So some excellent stuff coming out from Astralis inside of the first round. Now it's going to be tested a little bit further to see if they can carry it forward on a consistent basis here. Forrest, DP Fire, and Iconic all flirting with a repick right now. Shuttle as well, though his is much smaller in consequence. He's just picking up the old role from DP Fire's switch. As you'll notice, the operators match up there. As actually those two will just completely switch, apparently. Forrest and Iconic will be our main focus here. As we're actually going to swap out a Finka and bring in a Twitch, and the Twitch as well that was initially picked by Forrest will go away completely over to an Osa instead.
A lot of these OSA players starting to bring the 5.56 rifle instead of the PDW as well, which is something that we weren't initially seeing, but we've saw more and more in recent history, and it could just be a stylistic choice. Personally, I like the PDW. It's just got a lot of bullets, and that seems to be the name of the game in Rainbow Six Siege as of right now, so always a fun one. Oh, also the hip fire is pretty interesting, but the 5.56, it definitely hits. If there's anybody that's main Thermite for a little while, you know exactly what I am talking about.
Fragmite players out there.
Yes, sir. Like John Mullen is sitting over here. And speaking of fragmites, well, we'll get the frag part. Chala takes down J90, and that's going to be a huge trickle-down effect on Astralis' side, losing their Jackal.
Catches him right in the middle of the scan, so unfortunate turn of events for J90 as he'll lose that opportunity to not only track down the player, but of course the rest of his team's ability to track anyone throughout the rest of this round. Astralis, though, still seem to be moving forward without much of an interrupted pace here. DP Fire already working on finding access to the inside of Laundry, and they'll pop open that second barricade to push that theory forward even further. Getting upstairs access is going to be a big key piece of the puzzle, but I think Astralis has already pulled that off for the most part here, focusing almost entirely on just this Laundry push now. Forrest is first up to bat for that.
No
Nicely
way,
done
the
as he swings around just as the Nitro was being chucked by Merc. Horrible timing. The plan indeed is going down. Chala's attempting to swing in. Does DP Fire have the cutoff? No, apparently he doesn't. Shuttle's a little late to the party, although he'll get it after the fact here. Now someone else has to pick up the case, however. It's down to a 3v2. Gio in the middle of the site. He tries to save the day for the defense, but it's not going to work out as he goes down. And now Bolo is left alone in a clutch 1v3 with Gio still feeding him intel, but it's not going to matter. That Shuttle shuts every single player down nearly and clutches out the round again.
Somebody check the sunglasses. There's got to be something inside of those things that are powering this man up. Shuttle yet again popping off for Astralis. And this has been the entire stage so far. You guys heard about CDAPS, or heard CDAPS rather, talk about it on the desk. We honestly all thought maybe this is Shuttle's last year. We really don't know what's going to go down, but now he's looking like he's got a whole new lease on life, a breath of fresh air, and, well, 2 rounds up against the former Hammerlift.
look at how top heavy the Astralis stats are right now. Shuttle's got 5 kills, Forrest has 4, and then J90 has 1. DP Fire and Iconic haven't even had to kill anyone yet because they just haven't needed to.
I mean, and also you got to remember somebody has to do the crappy jobs, man. That's the one thing that for Siege and a lot of our newer viewers at home, those hard support positions are probably some of the worst video game playing you can possibly do for your own mental health. It's just not a good time. You die a lot. You usually die trying to put a plant down. You really don't get gunfights, and a lot of time you're in a clutch position, and oh, by the way, it's always all your fault. So, you know, it is what it is. But for Astralis as of right now, those supports are doing so much work. They're finding all this info for Astralis, and not only that, John, they are clearing so damn fast. This is like driving a Ferrari around this map right now.
The clear is so efficient that Astralis, once again for the second round in a row, are going to choose not to bring a Finka into play. They don't feel they really need it here, nor will they really need the frag grenades, as Shuttle will be the only one bringing those to the table currently. Instead, they switched over to the Flores on Iconic, as they feel they need the utility clear a bit more prominently here than they potentially need to boost up from the Finka's adrenal surges, or the nades that would come with her kit. So we'll see how that choice ends up working out for Iconic and the rest of Astralis, as they once again focus on the early round top clear here. Going to open up the position, or try to, by the triple wall, but as you guys probably caught there, it has been mute jammed out, so won't be able to open that one up just yet. And the Chief still sits on the other side as Shuttle tries to once again make the opening move for this team, but he'll be caught this time. He's able to escape, however, before he goes fully down and has about a third of his HP left.
Be unfortunate there for Shuttle, but he'll still be able to stave off elimination, at least for right now. Astralis' first minute now gone. TSM have done a bang-up job of keeping them outside of the building. They're now shifting to the south side to try and reinsert themselves, but TSM are seemingly aware of this, adopting the master angle, one that we all know way too well from ranked, and achieved almost becoming the victim of in the same breath.
Chief seems like he's had enough of it, so he's going to barricade up that wall one more time, or the door rather, and then back up to regroup with his teammates, more than likely downstairs or just above the site on a rotation point. We are halfway through the round. It seems like the extended game might have completed its job at this point, so could be good reason for them to start peeling that back. I say that, we still have a pretty strong hold on the inside of AVG here, where Chala is continuing to maintain presence with at least one other player being somewhat nearby to support him.
Well, Astralis are doing their best to try and contest this top floor hold from TSM. It's quite important to their defensive setup down low that they try and prevent this verticality, and Chala already starting things off strong. Iconic will get one for us, will end up knocking down Chala, and now the vertical control completely in their hands. But the big issue is that Shuttle is actually dead, but so is Bolo. And as you said, this timing constantly eating away at TSM, as it seems like it's always Astralis' clock.
Just when you think TSM's going to cut ahead, someone from Astralis shows up right at the back of a TSM player and knocks them out. So once again, they'll falter here down into a 2v4 round. Not over just yet, but now with that kill, it might as well be. Gio's the only one left standing, but an important pickup from him. Once again, though, man, these trades just so darn quick. Iconic knows that it's a solid.
We're not happy about these results, and I mean, why the hell would you be? You are recent hammer lifters, and past that, at the very beginning of the stage, I had a conversation with Merc, and he was like, no, we haven't lost any of our energy at all. We want to try and run it back. And so far this year, it has not looked like a run it back year. That really, really needs to change up soon. And the biggest thing when it comes to that discussion is that, if you guys didn't know, right before SI, TSM shifted things up and kind of how they calmed inside of game. Merc is now the primary IGL, and he has been all the way through SI and a little bit inside of Stage 3 as well. And obviously, he's done quite a bang-up job since he, well, got a hammer in Sweden. But since then, TSM, they just simply haven't been able to get anything on the road. Currently 1-4 in the NAL. And to be honest with you, looking at the top of this screen, this is something that I thought I would never see this year. I mean, even with Astralis playing well, I thought they were going to play well, but I mean, I did not think TSM would look like this.
I mean, they've literally fallen off a cliff.
Yes.
In terms of like ranking.
Like Mariana Trench level.
They've gone from literally the best team in the world to the second worst team in their own region in a matter of like a month and a half.
Well, when you put it that way,
I'm just stating what's currently the facts. I'm not saying it can't change.
Though that is indeed the Carfax, my friends. You are right about that one for sure. And what else we have going on is a round so far that hasn't had too much action. The drone game for Astralis is out and about, but they're keeping this one close to the chest, at least initially. Some smokes in it. As soon as I say that, Force is going to hop too. Smokes out for Chala, but they won't be able to prevent Force from coming in and taking down Merc. The F2 is just too hard to fight, and Astralis is yet again going for it. Chala and Bo will fight back, though, and they finally got a man advantage to play with. Iconic's going to take a little bit of damage from the smoke. Forrest trying to get rid of this single panel here for Gun Vault, so they actually have some vision here, but don't want to break it just yet, as this is the only safe haven that they have on the floor.
Yeah, it's very dangerous now for Astralis. Now they full committed to this with Iconic swinging in. No longer they're going to have any safe harbor to retreat from. Gio will catch the run out here, but he's going to miss the opportunity to pick up a kill. Instead, just throwing out one of those pieces of utility from Thorn in the event that he gets followed. Probably not going to be the case right now, as Astralis wanted to get the heck out of there, not stay in that 90 position. You can see they're now down in living room here. Going to probably re-rotate that to a different position to re-push back in, as all this action's transpired, and we're just under halfway through the round, so they have plenty of time to make this correction.
Absolutely. You can say the same for either of them. TSM, they've been able to find some pivotal positions, especially Geometrics currently inside of Master Closet. He's actually been discovered. He'll get shot in the rear here as the drone will discover him in Master. EE1D out, but luckily enough for him, he's found the angle. It won't be able to land the headshot. Forrest gets him instead. He's currently 8-1 through 4 rounds, a 2.0 KPR, and he's looking for more.
I know Gio was low there, but that's the second direct 1v1 that Forrest takes, and he was already injured from the first one he took after he swung in and still wins that one as well. Impressive stuff from Forrest and the entry power right now from Astralis, and TSM definitely are going to have to respect that on the 2 upcoming rounds after this one. It's in a 3v3 though, and a Shuttle will hop his way in. He's going to see that utility pop off though, but thankfully it doesn't have to go too far to get out of the danger zone of that one, so we'll keep himself at the same amount of HP. Rest of his teammates will be the same for them, as they'll all now line up mainly outside of Death's door, it looks like. Of course, you can see Iconic still on Repel in the distance. He's going to be the alternate angle here as they try to push their way in, but will this be enough strength to push past the interior sight setup from TSM? 2 in bar, 1 in the gun vault. Let's see how this holds. Well, we've got to wait another 10 seconds or so, unfortunately. That last Toxic Babe just went out by the map room door.
This is going to be very, very difficult for Astralis still. They'll have Iconic managing Study. He needs this position. He needs to win this gunfight up against Bolo. Achieved more than likely. Can swing onto this player. Iconic moving in. He's actually got the angle inside of sight, waiting for the swing here. And he's going to get it.
No!
He loses it out. It's a check here from Achieve. The nice shoulder shimmy will get him the kill. And the case is now down. Force sneaks in the back. He's got a triple kill and the pistol, but not enough time to be able to do anything. TSM with the round.
Or his gaming his heart out there in the final 3 seconds, just spamming with his sidearm, hoping for someone to peek and maybe another kill to come his way. That was all he had to rely on, unfortunately, at that late point in the round, as TSM do too good of a job countering out the very aggressive start And unfortunately, Astralis is not able to bring themselves back to a better point to bring that under their control. They even it back out, and they make it very close, all things considered here. TSM should have been able to hold it a little bit more prominently, but that is not the case, and Astralis still nearly get it done. But finally, a round is claimed regardless for TSM as it goes up on the board. But is it just a passing round, or is this the beginning of a streak and the beginning of a potential comeback? That is the question that will be phrased as we enter the second to last round of the half.
We will most definitely find our answer soon, as round 4 went swimmingly into TSM FTX's favor after their initial blunder from Astralis, swinging a 90 window that gifted them quite a few frags. Also, Chala finding one inside of Study that was quite pivotal to the overarching round. As for Astralis, though, it's back to the drawing board to try and figure out exactly what went wrong the previous round. And honestly, the big thing was just some missed shots. If actually Iconic takes down J90, if Iconic takes down, I believe, Achieved or whoever was playing inside of the gun vault at that time, he would have ended up winning the round. So it's just that close by a hair's margin. Astralis will lose out. And well, now we back into the map here to see if they can possibly take the same energy and apply it to Trophy and Statuary.
So let's see here now as TSM, of course, bringing a pretty straightforward setup to the table. The usual extension here into AVG that Geo will play. Won't have much support on that. Looking like that might be changing. That was Achieved as rotating in. Merc as well playing it from a little bit more outside, more of a trade angle than anything from the top of the red stairs. And then you've got the other two players maintaining either site here and keeping watch in the event that Astralis try to go for a fast bedroom clear. You guys can see, of course, that is certainly not going to be the case. We have a 4-player rappel stack outside of Study right now, so that will certainly be the focus, it seems, for this opening minute or so in terms of clearing out the AVG extension.
No such thing as overcompensation when it comes to bodies in Rainbow Six Siege. You want to be close as you possibly can, especially after what we saw in our very first round of this game where Astralis practically bowled over TSM. Bolo, speaking of bowling, going to take some damage inside of Library. He'll be forced back into Living Room. And fortunately enough, he's got a pretty cool hand, so he'll just have to punch that a singular time. The hatch will pop open. He'll drop down into the basement.
Astralis still looking for their first opportunity to pick up a kill here. No success in clearing out things inside of AVG yet either. TSM is giving some respect to that as they slowly back away, but it's mainly on Astralis to control the pacing here and get their proper execute going. Shouldn't be too worried about it considering the track record that Forrest, at a minimum, and a few other players might have for themselves as well here. But there's a nice shot from Achieved, locking onto the head of DP Fire. And Iconic will fall to similar circumstances on the other side to Geo. Forrest, though, he's still in this, and he's going to find the first exchange by taking down Merc. But where do they go from here?
I'm even more scared for TSM in this situation because Achieved is now down and Bolo and Geo both have lower HP. This is completely doable now for Forrest and the rest of the team as they're going to make this a 3 versus 3. J90 now has steady control, knows someone's around bench, but he can't hit the shots. It's going to be Bolo instead that wins it out. And he'll continue to hold down this location. Quite the pivotal one as in the moment for TSM. Shuttle, and specifically Astralis, still extended out here towards the Study side. He's around red. Bolo's going to just jump down and take the gunfight. He's going to immediately lose it. Now a 2 versus 2, and yet again, completely doable for Astralis. They still have a smoke in their pocket as well. They can completely deny an angle. There's a lot of opportunity here.
Such a harsh round for both teams. So many fights being decided by just these very intense angles where someone's going to hit a headshot pretty much immediately after swinging the corner, or they will immediately die. Shuttle with a potential good read here. Certainly here's the movement from Geo as he never really left the inside of Bar, but is he going to fully read into this swing? Yes, he will. Geo, in fact, doesn't even expect it as that's a 3rd kill on the round now for Shuttle. Chala the only one left, but the timing is so low. That's not going to matter, though. Forrest race car peaks the Astro stairs and shuts down the last player as another aggressive 1v1 is taken by him and successfully won to give Astralis the round.
Slap in some octane fuel and step on the gas, my friend. That's what we're seeing from Astralis, but I think we got some things to talk about. Bolo, what are you doing? What are we jumping down red and taking this gunfight for, my friend? And not only that, but you have the DMR. It's not exactly a close-range weapon that you want to try and fight somebody on a stairwell with, and Bolo practically gives the round over to Astralis. Geo's out in an extended roam. He has to try and come back. That's read into by Shuttle. And now all you have is Chala trying to wait inside a site to see where Astralis can possibly attack them from, but they have no other info to try and play into it. He's basically flying blind and trying to use audio in order to progress forward through the round.
So with TSM faltering once again, does that continue to be a trend, or is Astralis once more going to falter themselves on this upcoming attack. A few more repicks coming in as they're going to switch the Twitch over towards Iconic once again and just let Forrest go over to the 5.56 for the final. A bit of a dangerous switch considering the potential pitfalls of that gun, but we'll see how well he's trained on the OSA and what kind of strength he might be able to bring to the table, as I believe we already saw them do this once. I'm trying to remember if it was Forrest that went on the OSA, though. I think it might have been Iconic back then.
Yeah, I think it was Forrest. I would totally agree with you. But either way, Astralis back out and about here. TSM trying to find their second round here. And just as a reminder to you guys, this is the more successful side for TSM's Villa. A 64% defensive win rating in comparison to a 54% on their offensive side. Yes, both still positive and both pretty good stats, but obviously one means a lot more than the other. So for Astralis right now, if they can get this 5-1, I mean, they're practically waltzing to a victory.
Astralis continuing to look for chances to get a quick insertion to clear out the upstairs position. Won't find it so easily, though, as no one is going to be taking a risk at this point, especially at this point in the game here. TSM knows the threats that are lurking around any type of aggressive position for them, as Astralis has a great track record with clearing those out, so it's not going to be too smart of a choice for TSM to hardlock into any of those, and okay.
They're planting!
Astralis just hard ignores the extension upstairs. They're going to waltz right in. The plant is down. This could be dangerous, though. Their other angles haven't found too much success just yet, so they have a very small window of control, but they're making it work anyway. Forrest getting himself a double before finally being traded out, but it's Bolo with his own personal one to bring them right back into the fight. Locked in a 2v2 now. It's J90 and DP Fire holding the line for Astralis. Gio and Bolo both trying to retake from Tarp side here as well. Keep in mind the low HP on Gio is going to make him hard to find a point to insert himself into this fight. He won't even get that chance. J90 cuts him off. It's only Bolo left. He's going to go for the aggressive swing down the pantry stairs, but it's read into by DP Fire. And Astralis will take one more round as it's a 5-1 half for them.
We were not lying. We were saying that these guys are practically driving a Ferrari through this map at the current moment, the way that these rounds are building up. An immediate basement execute out of Astralis completely catches TSM off guard, and not only that, Merc has a cardiac sensor, folks. You can see through walls. You can basically cheat, and he doesn't even know that they're there. It's just so very unfortunate for TSM at the moment, and now they're onto the offensive side, which requires even more coordination because you're the one now attacking. This is not looking good for TSM, and also I don't think this is looking too hot for Jesse J. Chick.
Certainly not, as his prediction percentage is about to drop down the rest of us here. The coin once again going to keep its lead. Overall, 5 or 6 of us, however many we have in predictions at this point.
Can you just stop picking the same things that I pick? That's what's making me so mad.
I haven't seen what Parker and Pengu's percentage is sitting at, though. That's the thing.
Well, Pengu's was 0 through, like, the first week, and then he started to come back slowly. I wonder what it is now. We'll have to see.
Because I know me and you are, like, in front right now. Like, me, you, and then one other person are, like, really close for
Hey,
first.
man, some got it and some don't. What can I say?
Anyway, focusing up on this round here. Few repicks coming in, mainly just to bring the Nomad as well as the Lion in there on Gio and Chala at the bottom. Aside from that, everything stays the same, and we get an operator lineup that you would very much expect in the current state of Siege here. It really seems like TSM wants to try and lock down the members of Astralis as well here, mainly through the use of both the Lion and the Nomad, and then they have the insurance policy still on the Finca. I think we just got an update on our caster percentages, by the way, right? I think I heard a 46
Pengu
for one
and Parker are both at a 46-64, 46%. So both of them below half. Pengu's got to stop copying notes off Parker. That's
easy W.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. We should have made a bet on this or something. Like, it'd be like stealing candy from a baby. And speaking of which, Astralis is trying to steal this map away from a less-than version of TSM FTX. Now they're getting into the map now. They'll be able to at least get rid of one of the Goyo canisters. They're taking some control down low, but with Forrest taking down Bolo on a very awkward angle, now what's the next move?
Fink is gone, so they're not going to be able to back up and reboost HP anymore. They'll lose probably both of those nades. They're trying to throw out some of the others now. As you can see, both Achieved and Merc have drained at least one of the 2 that they're given. There's the second one going out to open down a bottom-to-top angle from the looks of things. Not much overall success with that utility, though, and that's going to cause some problems as they get closer to the site. Forrest just picking off players now as he pretty much has an uninterrupted top-down angle. No one from TSM is able to lock that down themselves to trade onto him, so he's got free reign over the bottom of main stairs as a direct result of that.
Yeah, the fact that we just had that go down, that just shows the de-evolution of the comms from TSM right there. Bolo not able to exactly translate the angle that was being abused from Forest, and they lose yet another body to it. And now the drone's starting to dwindle as well, but fortunately enough, they still have some to play with. Some beautiful shots here from J9 will light up Merc, and Merc's going to get hit by the cross as well. Forest will now take him down. A triple from the Tachanka this round, as it's looking like Astralis all day here for round 7.
It's really just Forest all day at this point, at 15-2 right now here. Shuttle at 10-4. Chala finally going to be able to get one on the board here for TSM, but that's the only one they found so far in this round. Trading out onto DP Fire as well, one of the least impactful players in terms of frags, of course, that we've seen so far in this game. So pretty minimal loss to the situation for Astralis here as time continues to blunder down past the 45-second mark here. Forest, this is going to be kill number 4. Let's see if we can get the ace, as it seems inevitable at this point.
An absolute
I jinxed it.
demon.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. No worries. You can see, John, they're all smiles. They're all happy about it. I can guarantee you Forest is ecstatic at the current moment. 6-1, and not only that, but you're the IGL of the team, and you have, what, 18, 19 kills at the current moment? I mean, this is unprecedented.
This is way too clean from Astralis. This is dangerously clean
disgusting.
for Astralis.
This is one of the, I'll be honest with you, this is one of the cleanest villas that I have seen in quite some time, where people are doing things that are actually new. John, people are doing new things in Rainbow Six.
And it's not even that like TSM are necessarily doing anything wrong. If you look at the core elements of their strategy, they're just getting outwitted in so many of the, like the early gunfights, the rotations they're trying to make inside of those gunfights where members of Astralis just trap them. It's just all because Astralis is playing so darn well right now.
I mean, TSM came to this map and thought that they were going to be playing checkers with Astralis, but Astralis are playing 4D chess. That's what's going on in the current moment. A lot of these strategies have been catching TSM off guard. They've been just getting kills on random site players. It has not been good when it comes to TSM's overall gameplay for this map. And I mean, even the last round with Fofo-san just able to do whatever he wanted to TSM, they was like, take my body. Like, I don't really care. Like, you can do whatever. It's just like, okay, guys, well, we need to figure this out. I don't understand the fact that Forrest is allowed to do what he's doing with these vertical angles.
Not even him, Shuttle, too. I mean, Shuttle's going just as crazy. And if you, like I said, look at the scores. I brought them up last round, but once again, J9O, DP Fire, and Iconic, in terms of the fragging department, they barely had to do anything except for like 1 or 2 rounds where their teammates died and they needed to step up a bit, and they did, so.
Man, it is so hard to find some positive things at the current moment, especially with Astralis trying to take it to TSM. Merc's going to take a lot of damage, but now they're trying to fight back. They've doubled down. They've got the LMGs, but Merc's down as well. Is someone here to help him? They're not. J9O will find the equalizer, and the kill was so unbelievably strong that it may have crashed the server. What they want to do, that can't happen. So Astralis, they've definitely found the mark for TSM, especially here on Villa, but now that we're back into the map, Astralis will set things back up. And yes, it is indeed going to be confirmed that it is a full on-site replay, ladies and gents. So for Astralis and for TSM, they have to choose the exact same lineups and the same site for the defense for Astralis.
Yep, if there are any repicks, I'd imagine that rule applies to that just as well. So we should see those same repicks if there were any. I'm going to be honest, my memory's not that great, so I can't recall if there were, but it's looking like TSM have the solid lineup locked in anyway. So they're going to be spawning out in just a moment, and we will see if Astralis has the proper defense to curtail this play. And more importantly, if they're going to get as aggressive once again right at the beginning of this round by potentially taking that challenge over towards Study. It's not going to be in Study, but you can see Forest definitely trying to mess around a little bit here with the laundry swing.
Yeah, there's always something you have to worry about when it comes to the Astralis defense, at least from what we've seen thus far. TSM now working their way into the building. The initial drones will suss out Iconic top main, but he also has some verticality to actually abuse the main door downstairs as well. He's going to play around this area, has the SMG-11. I'm assuming he's got the shotgun as well as his primary. We've been seeing a lot of people use the FMG-9 recently, so always something to notate for your smoke player. His utility is just so unbelievably strong, and it has been for such a long time. So being able to shift over to the FMG whenever you need some, longer distance tools is always nice to have.
Already a minute into the round, a much quieter outcome to things. I believe I was correct, by the way, about what was going to happen in this round.
Yeah, but Force was swinging laundry, John.
True. Okay, fair enough. Fair counterpoint. But we do have Astralis continuing to sit primarily around the site. They've got a little bit of an extension, as you can see, across the halls primarily, right towards the living room area. But Merc indeed sneaking a little bit too close to Forest here. As Forest once again going to try to play into that position. He is going to be able to spot out this position. Forest, that is. Playing on the inside of Bicycle, but Merc not really moving from it. Not a whole lot that Forest can do about it in the current point in time, but it's looking like maybe we'll see someone try to swing over there and challenge this when they are ready to move themselves down. In the meanwhile, you will also see the Nomad currently being played by Chala, blocking of both of the rotation points to top red from the trophy side of things. Bolo as well will use the Gone 6 to quickly take out DP Fire's support point here behind this shield and make that overall position a heck of a lot weaker, potentially forcing him to rotate down fairly soon. But minute to go here, so TSM seems to be proceeding quite nicely, but it's not until we see them actually fight members of Astralis that we'll have a better idea about how this round is going to play out.
This is what I was afraid of, with TSM allowed to actually take some time and do some things. They're only down 3 drones at the current moment, which means that there is so much info coming their way as of right now, and we're about to find out, can Astralis stop a TSM execute? It's looking like it could really go either way. Iconic's going to be able to make some verticality upstairs because TSM was not worried about this location. They could go for something late up top, but we have a lot of different opportunities here. Does DP Fire turn around and see this drone either? Chala will get at least a trade here, but now Astralis is starting to pull ahead as it's a 4 versus 3.
Yeah, DP Fire with a big pickup there. He had been spotted out by a drone, but it didn't seem that TSM was aware of it. Chala with another fake find here, though, trades it out again by eliminating Iconic. That's evened us up, but okay, TSM have stopped suddenly here. They're sitting outside of tarps right now. They only have 20 seconds left, so they need to move forward quickly here. The drop, they don't even realize that Forest is sitting on the inside of Laundry. He knocks down Chala. J9O with one more. It's all on Geo. He's got control of the chassis, but he's less than 5 seconds to clutch it out, and it's just not gonna happen. Astralis dominate versus the world champions and take control of this matchup 7-1.
Well, it was a burner, but it was more of a pyre to lay TSM on top of, if anything.
Oh, what's this? What's this?
Oh, they power it up. There it is. There it is. I thought we were going to do